and welcome to this week's episode 12 of Impacted, here via the Total Nonstop Impact Network. And I'm joined today by my brother from another mother. He is the yin to my yang. He comes from the empty space of his mind, the void. He is the Joker.
Hello.
Hello, mate. You took your time there. You got to remember. This is also audio, so they can't necessarily see what you're doing.
No, well, we audio descriptive there. Joker was lost, looking around at nothing, hearing voices in his head.
Fair enough. That makes sense now. I'm down with that. So there you go, guys. Another fabulous introduction into the world of TNI Impacted and into the world, into the mind, into the void, the empty space of the Joker. All goes on in there. It's just wrestling. That's it. There's nothing else in there. It's just wrestling. So if you ever wonder what was going on in the void, that's it. It literally is probably just Rosemary. To be fair, I'm sure Rosemary's in there somewhere.
It's got a special place in the void.
Oh, I bet she has. Yes. Now, don't forget, guys. Give us a thumbs up. I'm not saying do it now, but do it at the end of the show when you've really enjoyed the content. I hope. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure that we get on all of those timelines. Make sure that everybody gets to see Impacted. We do this every single week. We give a breakdown of all sorts of stuff. We talk about the news. We break down previews, reviews, loads of bits and pieces. We're always giving you content each and every week here on the Total Nonstop Impact Network. So make sure that you head over, give us a sub. We are at 952. I believe at the point of this recording. So, we've got less than 50 to go to hit
1K by Christmas.
Subs. 1K by Christmas. That's the goal. 1K by Christmas, guys. Spread the word. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment on any of the stuff we talk about today. Remember, we love interacting with you guys in the comment section below. So, make sure that you do interact with us so that we can interact with you. As always, this is just our opinions and we love to hear yours. Don't forget, give us a sub, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. Okay, so we got some interesting stuff to talk about, my friend. We got some interesting stuff to talk about. I want to hit the newsworthy stuff first. Obviously, the big news, probably the only news that's worth talking about, is that Kenny Omega spoke or appeared on Impact Wrestling this past week. What are your thoughts on that, my brother?
I'm still taking it back. What Don Callis had this planned all along, and everything blew up since we recorded last week when Kenny Omega took the belt. Everyone was questioning why haven't we talked about that? It happened literally about 12 hours after we'd finished recording last week. Don Callis.
It was the biggest surprise ever, wasn't it? I mean, it was really weird because obviously for us here in the UK, we're generally asleep. We're generally asleep when stuff's going on with Dynamite. So I just remember all that happened for me was I woke up and my Twitter and my Facebook stuff, I had something like 300 messages. It was ridiculous, 300 sort of notifications. And I'm thinking, what the bloody hell's this all about? So
I thought it was a joke until I watched Don Callis marching Kenny Omega out the building and
it was just it just went absolutely insane, and the insanity and the buzz that this has created over the past week has been just like nothing I've ever seen on social media with regards to professional wrestling. Am I right? What do you think?
Yeah, they've put professional wrestling back on the map. And
without doubt.
Yeah, that's what Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks wanted to do from the start, was to get everyone talking about it again. And it was the same with Scott D'Amore and Don Callis when they got Impact back up and running properly. They said, we want to get everyone buzzing again, and they just needed a way to do it. And I'm just glad Tony Khan finally agreed to take the Young Bucks advice on board, because they were pushing for it since All Out started last year.
I think there's been so many people that have been wanting something like this to happen. I mean, you still got the marks out there who are like, oh, why Impact Wrestling sucks and all that rest of it rubbish. Basically you don't watch the product, so how do you know? But as we know, Impact Wrestling has got a solid roster of really great guys. We've got, it's been all over the internet, dream matches and all the rest of it. I don't want to talk about dream matches, but there are some incredible dream matches that could take place now that we've got a potential relationship here. We don't know how far this relationship's going to go, but what we do know is that last night, this past week on Impact, Kenny Omega was on Impact Wrestling. Now, he wasn't in the ring. He wasn't in the Impact Zone. He was outside Nashville in an incredible bus of luxury, and he appeared for a good 15 minutes in interview promo stroke thing, and yeah, what we learned was that this has been in the works for a long time. It's been all part of the invisible hand, all part of the master plan was for Kenny to end up winning pretty much everything that they got going. He's, like you say, he already is the AAA champion. He's AEW champion. He's been the New Japan Pro Wrestling champion. Now he wants to be, now the hint there was a hint there that possibly he's coming for the Impact World Championship. So, who knows where that's going to lead. I can tell you now, mate, I don't think it's going to be against Rich Swann. I think this is going to happen a little bit later on. There could potentially be maybe a cross-promotional, not necessarily an Impact versus AEW type show, but it would be interesting to see a Impact Wrestling AEW co-promoted pay-per-view, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like what they did with Ring of Honor and Lucha Underground. That's how I see it going. But that's the sort of working relationship the Young Bucks and Cody and like Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega want with Impact Wrestling. They don't want it one side versus another, like you get Raw versus SmackDown. You get two companies actually working together as a unit, like we do with New Japan and AAA. And so, but Impact and AEW work with both of them. Yep. So it's bringing everybody together, and that's what he wants to do.
It's very, very interesting to see how this pans out. Is this going to roll over into New Japan as well, though? Because what's interesting about this is now what we've got a working relationship potentially sort of kind of between AEW, AAA, New Japan, and Impact. Is this a four-way thing that's going to eventually roll out to be a four-way thing? I'm very excited to see where this goes. I want to sit on the road. I don't want to start predicting this, that, and the other. What I want to do is I want to sit here and I want to watch this and enjoy it for what it's going to be. If it turns out to be, a flash in the pan thing, then fair enough. If that's, we've had something, and whatever it's done is help both promotions probably gain some more viewers, which ultimately is what we need. We need to get those ratings up. People need to get watching our product. One thing I thought was really good about tonight, the way that they did what they were doing, was they effectively we had a full Impact show. They hinted at Kenny being there, the interview. They didn't know when it was going to happen. I think we all knew it was going to happen towards the end. But you pretty much managed to watch an entire episode of Impact Wrestling before the interview took place. And what I found interesting about that is that there's going to be a lot of people that have not watched Impact Wrestling for a while. They got to see a full episode of Impact because they were waiting for Kenny, but they got to see a full episode of Impact and probably liked it.
Yeah, it was one of the best shows of the entire year. They've been on a roll since I can't remember what the last Impact Plus was, Turning Point. So I think Turning Point is exactly where everything's going now. everything is on a turning point now. Everything is going in the right direction for AEW and Impact Wrestling.
I think so. I think we've just got an upward spiral now. It's going to improve. We're going to start taking it into 2021 with a buzz. I think that's the key. It's taking everything that's, this year has been a bit shit for everybody. We've had the virus to contend with. It's not been great. We've not had audiences as such. Certainly as Impact, we've not had the audiences at all. I know that they've sort of kind of had small audiences and they've been growing those audiences a little bit over at AEW. We've had the virtual audience or whatever it is they're doing on WWE. But the bottom line is that, it's been a tough year for the industry. It's been a tough year for everybody concerned around the world. And I think what we're seeing now is, by doing what they've done and timing it like this, is they're setting up 2021 to be an amazing year of pro wrestling. It's going to be a not miss. Yeah. You're not going to want to miss Impact. You're not going to want to miss AEW. You're not going to want to miss anything that goes on over at AAA maybe or New Japan. I've thought for a while that, with this relationship building with New Japan, that we might possibly see New Japan Pro Wrestling turn up on Access TV so that they've got an American an outlet. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but that's something I've been thinking for a while. They're building this relationship up. What is the biggest thing that Impact could offer New Japan Pro Wrestling? It's an outlet for them to put their products in North America, right?
It's definitely it's a great way to brush the turbulent past aside and start over.
Totally, man. Totally. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this pans out now. 2021, I think, is going to be a must-watch year for the wrestling industry. And if you are a part-time fan, or you've just come across us for the very first time, you're thinking, what in God's name are these dudes talking about? Then you've got to tune in to professional wrestling with AEW, Impact Wrestling now, because it's happening now. The revolution has started, and whatever everyone's been speculating online, that a couple of people like Don Callis is leaving Impact, or what a load of rubbish, or it's a one-off friend, there's a one-off deal, all sorts of stuff like that. I telling you now, this is a proper full-on working relationship.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Put it this way, fuck Dave Meltzer and listen to what the Young Bucks the Young Bucks gave an interview recently about the whole where everything is going and what the background of this whole relationship is. Check that out, guys, and then make up your mind.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is, guys, that the world, it's changing. The world of professional wrestling, the landscape is changing. You hear that phrase so often in professional wrestling, oh, the landscape's changed, this and that and the other. But it really has. This time, it really has changed. And you want to get on that bus, and you want to enjoy the journey and the ride, because I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing 2021 in revolutionizing pro wrestling in 2021. So make sure you're watching it, guys. Make sure you're watching it. I'd love to know your comments. I'd love to know your thoughts on what went down this past week on Impact with regards to Kenny Omega, with regards to where we think this is going. Maybe you want to put in some of your dream matches. I don't know. But don't forget, just leave your comments down below. We'd love to talk about it. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about pro wrestling. That's what we do. So, let's do that. Let's leave some comments, guys, and let's really discuss what we think is going to happen moving forward towards the end of this year, leading into 2021. Where is this going to go? What is this? Where is this ride going to take us, guys? You let us know. So this past week, what we also saw was like Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone were on there doing an advert for Dynamite. Like you're saying, putting some money into the Impact into the Impact product, which was really nice to see. And what we also saw was some incredible matches. I mean, The opening match, I'm sorry, but that opening match was absolutely outstanding. Josh was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. Chris Sabin, the guy's like 40 odd years old, and he is just incredible. I mean, that was what, a 15-minute match?
Yeah, good 10, 15 minutes.
And they did not stop the whole time. It was a really, really great match. I loved it. And I hope all of the extra people that tuned in to watch Impact Wrestling saw what an incredible, talent pool that we've got here. Josh Alexander, Chris Sabin, amazing opening match. Really, really strong. And what that also did as well was forwarded the whole story that we talked about with the sort of kind of the discontent that we're seeing between Josh Alexander and Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Because obviously Ethan's there on the side trying to tell Josh what to do, and Josh is like, basically shut up, I know what to do, and then of course he messes it all up and loses the match to Chris Sabin. So we knew that was going to happen. Of course, then we start to see again that dismay, that the way Josh clearly feels about Ethan at the moment is not in a very positive light. But what we saw was something that, from a storyline point of view, that worked really well. And what we saw was a really, really good match. I thought the TJP Brian Myers match was really good. I really, really enjoyed that. And again, it's more proof for me that the TJP character, as we see it, TJP himself is going to be gone, and we're going to get a new improved character type role, whether it be Manic or one of the other characters that he portrays or that he's portrayed in the past, or even a new one. Maybe he's got a new character that he's going to bring to life. And again, we'll get to talking about that a little bit later in our preview of Final Resolution. But so we saw some good stuff there. We had constant sort of kind of discussion and reminding people that we've got the Kenny Omega interview going on that all the way through.
Yeah.
I thought the commentary tonight was really enthusiastic. I thought Josh was really good tonight. I'd like to have seen Matt Stryker next to him. I thought, but not to say Madison did a bad job, but I just think with the night that it was, you wanted to stick your best guy in the commentary booth. So I was a bit disappointed it wasn't Matt, but because Josh and Matt are great together.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
They got a good chemistry. But Madison did a great job. She was good. There wasn't too many silly jibes. We did have the Nerd Boy one with the cameo thing, which I quite liked. I thought was funny, but it was kept to a minimum, and I like that. Because when you start really getting into that punishing Josh thing, it gets a bit tedious all the way through your 2-hour show. But, I thought they did a great job last night. They plugged everything. I mean, we've got a plug for Shop Impact in there with the T-shirts for the Motor City Machine Guns. We got a plug in there for Brian Myers and Matt Cardona's podcast. There was all sorts of plugs in there for different things, which I thought worked extremely well. The way that they did it, they properly worked everything in the matches, and to be fair, the matches last night were great. So if you were a first time fan of wrestling coming back, say you were one of the TNA guys, you haven't watched Impact because you just thought it was crap or whatever, it got disillusioned by it, or you stopped watching and you never watched Impact or whatever, I don't know. But if you saw it again last night, I'm pretty sure you would agree that we've got a hell of a roster, and it was fully consolidated by all the matches that were on last night, including, which I just want to talk about quickly, including the next semi-finalists moving forward in the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. Taya Valkyrie and your favourite and mine, Rosemary. Good match. Really, really good match. What were your thoughts on that?
I was so impressed with this match. I was we knew Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie were going to gel well together, but they were absolutely amazing. And Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly really, really did a good job working together as well. They really played out there. Oh, we've got this, we've got this. So they started off the match like blatantly not taking it seriously, and then it just got escalated from undermining people to really panicking that they're going to lose, and it was just fantastic. And then when it all broke down, I was thinking the referee was just going to throw the match out, and if that had happened, I think everyone would have rioted. So,
I think what we would have seen if something like that happened, we might have actually seen the rematch on Final Resolution, which would have been interesting. But you're right, it was a great match. I thought there was a good story told. Deonna Purrazzo looked great. Kimberly looked amazing, as she always does. Really good wrestler. And of course, Taya, Rosemary. I mean, the bottom line is, both of those are former Knockouts champion. You've got Taya in there, who's the longest reigning Knockouts champion of all time. You've got a good tag team. I mean, they're a good tag team. They work well together. They've got really good on-screen chemistry, whether it be in or out of the ring. I think they work well together. So, it wasn't a surprise to me they were going to win, because I think they needed to. Deonna was in the tournament with Kimberly, but I think for Deonna to then be able to do what she needs to do with regards to Knockouts title. She's at the end of the day, she's the Knockouts champion.
Yeah.
If you're going to start, if she's in the tag tournament, you're not able to put her in anything to do with that, really, are you?
No,
you can, So I think so her losing in this tag tournament is the right thing to do, because now we can, like we've seen later on in the show, she's now moving on to defend her Knockouts title, and Rosemary and Taya are moving on now to face Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. So
this is going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to this one.
I think this is going to probably turn out to be the match of the tournament. To be fair, both. We know how good Tasha and Kiera are, and we know how good Taya and Rosemary are. They're both very, very good tag teams. They work so well together. I think we're going to see one hell of a match. Who do I think is going to win? I think the obvious choice is obviously, and the fans' choice and everything else is going to be Kiera and Tasha. I think the obvious choice would be to go with that, because I think we're going to see a Kiera and Tasha final. But would it surprise me if we saw, Taya and Rosemary be victorious in that same final? No, it wouldn't surprise me at all, because they are just as good.
Yeah, it's 50-50 for me, and it was like I knew Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary were most likely going to go through. Or if they didn't, then Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly would get Su Yung after them in the next outset. But the fact that Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie won this match cleanly also proves how good they are. And Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz won their match cleanly as well.
Yeah, all I know is that whatever happens moving forward now is going to be a hell of a ride.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good.
Hell of a ride, and it is a bit unpredictable. I think, the problem is that we all feel that Kiera Hogan especially deserves to have a strap. She's been with the company, for many years now. Like a good 2 or 3 years.
Coming up 3 years next year.
Yeah, we've seen how much she's grown. We've seen incredible matches from her. And it's time that she got some kind of reward, I guess.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are saying that. Their character is built immensely over, especially over the past year for me. Her character is gone from here to here, quite dramatically. And her in-ring, we always knew she had the in-ring ability. Her in-ring's amazing. She is a little firecracker. And without shadow of doubt, the two definitely deserve it. But I'm starting to think that it's starting to get a little bit too obvious that it's moving that way. Everybody's saying, "Oh, it's going to be them. It's going to be them." Would the shocker be that Taya and Rosemary knock them out in the semi-final? And we don't actually get that. You know what I mean? That's where the unpredictability comes here. Is everybody's expecting Kira and Tasha to be in that final, aren't they? Everyone is expecting that. Imagine if the semi-final imagine if, because I think we're going to get Jazz and Jordan. I definitely think that. I've got this because I think, that they're going to want to make the most out of Jazz being part of this at the moment. So I definitely think that we're going to see Jordan and Jazz in the final. Would I have liked to have seen Havoc and the Bear? Yes. But my brain tells me that it's going to be those two because financially, like I said, to make the most of Jazz, it makes sense. I don't know. I just have this feeling. I just have this feeling that Taya and Rosemary are actually going to pull the upset.
Yeah.
That be the final match. You know what I mean? That be the match before Hard to Kill. The week before Hard to Kill. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? Is Tasha and Kira going to do it? Are they going to be in the final? And then, like on that Tuesday night before the pay-per-view, bam, Taya and Rosemary win, and we get Taya and Rosemary versus Jordan and Grace.
Yeah, the best thing about it is the ultimate upset will be coming from the two most popular knockouts on the roster.
Yeah, funny enough, that's the irony of it, isn't it? That is the irony of it all. Is that although people, are totally expecting Tasha and Kira to end up walking away with this title, or at least be in the final, the ultimate upset from the two most popular wrestlers on the Impact roster. I mean, they allude to Rosemary being sort of kind of almost like the cornerstone of the Knockouts roster last night.
Definitely.
And they're right. I mean, she's been there for like 5 or 6 years or something insane. She's probably the longest. Other than Madison Rayne, obviously, she's probably the longest knockout there now. I'm just trying to think of who else is there that could have been there longer other than Madison, and I don't think there is.
Not in this current roster, no.
No, it's got to be Madison and then Rosemary.
Yeah.
And then Taya probably, because Taya came in not long. Oh no, it would have been Kira. Probably Kira Hogan. She's been there for some time. Taya probably. But there's nobody else actually on that Knockouts roster right now, other than Madison Rayne, that was there prior to Anthem buying Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
So
Rosemary came in when I started watching. So it's been about 5 years.
Yeah, it's got to be a good 5 years. We must be heading into year 6, shall we say?
Yeah.
I hope they re-sign her. Nobody else could use Rosemary like Impact uses Rosemary. So I hope that they re-sign her in February.
Yeah, well, she's bumping the company up so much online as well. She's constantly promoting the company and really, really, making herself, like you said, the cornerstone of the Knockouts division at the moment. And
she's amazing. And the fact that you can clearly see that she's fully recovered now from that injury, the knee injury that she had, because she's full out now. She's going for it.
One devastating spear last night. That was fantastic.
Oh, mate. She was just so good. And you know what? Yeah, I love the whole kind of, the coming up thing that she does from the floor when she's bent over. It just amazes me. It's her version of the Undertaker. Suddenly come back to life thing. And I think it's just incredible. She's so good. She tells a story. She's got an amazing character that she never seems to deviate from. And I just think she's amazing, and I hope she re-signs. And I think an indication of whether both of those have re-signed could be whether they turn up in the main event. It's Hard to Kill as well. So I think there's a lot riding on this tournament, and it's getting very exciting indeed, isn't it, Joe?
There's so much history between Kira Hogan, Taya Valkyrie, and Rosemary as well. It's just going to ask. I think if they hadn't put all the votes out for Match of the Year and that now, I think that would have probably been a candidate for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think some of the matches we got coming up at Final Resolution could also be incredible matches. So it is very much interesting to see how this sort of kind of pans out. I was actually a bit talking about the match of the year and all that kind of stuff that went out. I was very disappointed because my favourite match of the year I don't think was on there. And my match of the year for me was Josh Alexander versus Vikingo.
That's what was crossing my mind.
It wasn't on there. I don't think it was on there. I think it was Josh Alexander versus TJP possibly was on there. Am I right or wrong? I don't know. I know Josh was on there for something. But for me, that match, hands down, is definitely the best match of the year. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was an amazing match. That was the one they had in Mexico.
Yeah, this is the last one they had in Mexico, the second week they had in Mexico this year. And they went out for a good 20 minutes. And Vikingo, and he really took it to Josh Alexander because he's not a big guy.
No, but it was just fast-paced, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Josh Alexander was able to match him move for move, despite how quickly he was. And even Josh Alexander went flying a couple of times as well. You know, he proved that he's so underrated still.
Yes.
I wish they put that match on the card because I would have picked that, but I picked the main event for Slammiversary because that was one of the best matches I've seen as well. It was just so good to see Eric Young come back. It was so good to see Rich Swann come back. And
that was a great match as well.
How that set everything in motion now is why it was my choice.
Yeah, definitely. So I think at the end of the day, I think we've got some incredible stuff that's happened over the past year within Impact Wrestling. Especially how we've seen the Knockouts roster grow and become as strong as it actually is right now. I mean, whenever I hear it, we got the Knockouts match coming up next, I'm like, right, okay, here we go then. It's going to be good. It doesn't matter who they put, who they match. It really, really doesn't matter who's in it. It's always a good, solid, strong match, isn't it?
Definitely.
I love the Knockouts.
They work so well together and they get on so well backstage. So there's very little animosity.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what? Something else that was interesting tonight, because it hasn't come out or anything. It doesn't seem to be confirmed that, for instance, Killer Kelly or Reddy or whoever, Reddy Michelle, have been signed. It hasn't come out about that. But this past week on Impact, they did allure to the fact that some of the best knockouts in the world are on the Impact roster. On the Impact, and they mentioned Killer Kelly and Reddy Michelle when they talked about the recent acquisitions or the recent knockouts on the roster. He mentioned Josh actually said Killer Kelly and Reddy Michelle. He actually said that. So whether that means that maybe these guys are joining the roster, I don't know. I'd love to see Killer Kelly and Reddy Michelle. I would love it. I really would. I was dismayed over the last couple of weeks where I saw some comments on Twitter with people questioning Reddy Michelle's ability in the ring. I then come across some amazing footage which I shared and said, basically something along the lines of, anyone out there that has said that this lady cannot wrestle, I beg to differ.
Yeah, she's one of the best.
Awesome.
She's one of the best women's wrestlers on the independent scene at the moment.
She's amazing.
She's absolutely fantastic.
She looks fantastic. She's got the look. I haven't seen too much of her promo stuff, so maybe people are like, saying that she's not so good at that. I don't know. But her in-ring ability is clear for anyone to see. The girl can go. And for me, that's the most important part of being part of the Knockouts. You've got to be able to do the business. And I think that Reddy Michelle's got a future as a knockout as a knockout on the Impact roster. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll just have to wait.
Killer Kelly is definitely on the roster, in my opinion. I think she's definitely on there.
I mean, how you can't sign her after the showing that she's given you, is beyond me. And if they I should say they have to offer a contract. I mean, at the end of the day, she has to sign it. She has to decide that's what she wants. So it's down, but at least they need to have offered her a contract. And me personally, it's got to be a good one because she's worth it. Deonna Purrazzo was worth it. Killer Kelly's going to be worth it. You need to throw some money at that girl. She's going to be incredible. As well as throwing money at Rosemary and Taya because you need to keep them too.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure that we keep that nucleus of what we've got and build on it, not lose and replace. if that makes
Definitely.
sense. We all know it was a real shame that Kylie's not around at the moment for whatever reason. I still think at some point when she's feeling stronger, feeling better, we may see her again. But at the moment, obviously, she's retired, so we need to respect that. But what we have seen, like you say, Kylie disappears, Killer Kelly, Rennie Michelle, the Sea Stars, Jazz, all turn up. One thing which I do think is amazing about the Impact roster is they do seem to be able to freshen things up on a regular basis. And this is all like similar. It's kind of what it is now, isn't it? The roster is being freshened up again.
Definitely.
And I like, I think that what we're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing wrestlers being given contracts which allows them to maybe make, I don't know, say 10 appearances or 5 or 6 appearances a year in, say, an AEW.
Yeah.
Or if you sign with Impact, if you sign with AEW, there's the option in there to do 4 or 5 appearances on an Impact show as well. Which wouldn't be a bad thing for anybody. You get to possibly, take on some wrestlers that you wouldn't necessarily have taken on before. You get seen by another wrestling audience. It's only going to boost your stock, make you more valuable, right?
It's what AEW's got with like the likes of the Lucha Brothers and John Moxley and Chris Jericho. They can go to New Japan or go to AAA. So
why not include Impact in that as well?
Yeah, it's something that's definitely been on everyone's mind there since they started. It's just because it's 2020, it's not been able to be utilized as much.
No, totally. So it's going to be great to see how it goes. What are your thoughts, guys? We're going off a little bit on a tangent. We're already at 35 minutes, but we've got so much interesting stuff to talk about. We've all got opinions on all of this. Don't forget, leave yourselves some comments, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Go and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of our great content coming out every single week via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, we're there. Total Nonstop Impact Network. That's all you got to find. Total Nonstop Impact. Bottom line is we are there. So make sure that you head over, you subscribe, and you click any of the bells. You smash the bell to make sure that you don't miss anything, any of the fresh content coming out each and every week. We've pretty much got every single day covered, I think, on the TNI network.
Yeah, I think Saturday's the only day everyone's got off.
Yeah, so make sure that you don't miss any of that by smashing the bell. So it's important stuff. Now, I need to steer this in the right direction because we've got to get this preview of Final Resolution in, and that's happening this Saturday on the Impact Plus app. Now it's interesting because some of this stuff is sort of kind of like been building in storylines and stuff, but we didn't actually get too many of the matches actually announced via Impact. I suppose they got so much stuff going on at the moment. It's hard to get everything in. Like you say, it's only a 2-hour show, so it's hard to get everything in. But I've got the final card in front of me, and we're now going to talk about it. We're going to give our thoughts, where we think it's going to go. We might mention some of the storyline that did lead to the match, because obviously we will recognise that as we go. But here we go, Joe. Final Resolution this Saturday on Impact Plus. Opening match. Well, we've got an opening match, which I believe is going to be the Sea Stars versus Havoc and Nevaeh. Now,
yes.
It's a knockouts tag match. Again, promoting the fact that we have got a tag division now within the knockouts. It's not just a tournament. We've got a division.
Yeah.
And I think Sea Stars are obviously part of that, or they certainly are at the moment. Against Havoc and Nevaeh, I think this is going to be a really, really good match. I'm going to go with Havoc and Nevaeh winning, because obviously they need that momentum going into the semi-final against Jordan and Jazz for the tournament. I mean, if they lost here, that's not going to look too good for them moving forward. So I'm definitely going to go with a win for Havoc and Nevaeh in this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to say Havoc and Nevaeh as well. But one good thing about the Impact Impact Plus specials is the matches go on a bit longer, so we're going to see a much stronger showing from the Sea Stars. I want Impact to sign them as well as Renee Michelle and Killer Kelly. I think if we're going to build a tag division, you need more teams, and you need the roster to expand more, so you can give people like a singles run as well. Because if the way it's going now, we've got Deonna, Purrazzo and Su Yung, who are the main singles competitors, and possibly Kimberly.
Yeah,
and that's about it. So if you bring the Sea Stars in,
Kimberly is with Deonna.
Yeah.
So I could still see that happening eventually, because a curator eventually is probably going to be like for fuck's sake, I want to show, so but they're not going to obviously be together forever, that's for sure. But no, you're right. You're definitely right, Joe. I think that they need to build a specific knockouts tag division, and someone like the Sea Stars, a team like the Sea Stars, who are a bona fide tag team. That's what they do. They're a tag team. They are a tag team. Is a perfect vehicle for that to happen. It's not like they're not proven. They were. I think it's Is it the WOW Women of Wrestling Champions?
Yeah, they're women of wrestling tag champions, and they're very successful everywhere they've gone.
Yeah, I think they're, and they're still very, very young as well. So again, we like to bring in the young up and coming stars. So yes, I see. Obviously, Nevaeh and Havoc are going to win, but I think we might get a good showing from the Sea Stars, which is going to create a really good match. And I'm quite looking forward to that one.
It's going to be a good match, guys.
It's going to be a good one. Any comments? Don't forget, leave your comments. What are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear. Now, the next match that we've got advertised, to be fair, actually, I mean, it might not be the order that they go in, but the next match that we've got advertised is Hernandez versus and this is basically for the money, baby. So the storyline that we had building on this one is definitely with regards to Hernandez arm wrestling money. He'd been
fantastic.
Yeah, he'd been earning. Obviously, we know that Tasha and Kira had taken the money out of Bar's pocket. But of course, Fala's not sure what's going on here. Hernandez doesn't know what's going on. They're all deceived. They're not all Gucci. I don't think what's going on here. Bottom line is this: I think that Fala Bar's going to win this match. What are your thoughts?
I think Hernandez is going to win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I want Fala Bar to win, but I think Hernandez is going to somehow lift Fala Bar up and give him that finisher he's got. Or he's going to pull off something massive and beat Fala Bar. But I really do want Fala Bar to win, so I hope I'm proved wrong there.
Okay, but you're going to go with Hernandez.
I'm going to go with Hernandez, and I know these two are going to put on a really solid match, because they're Hernandez for a big guy is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, he is.
He's
have
so
you
quick.
Have you noticed he's sort of kind of leaned up a little bit as well over recent months?
Yeah,
like he's got toned back up again. Like he's lost the car, he's toned himself back up again. We're starting to see some of the proper the moves that he was famous for, like the Super Mex.
Yeah,
we started. I think it's interesting what you've got there in Hernandez and Bar are two incredibly athletic big guys.
Yeah,
haven't you?
Something that Impact's really good at pushing is the big athletic wrestlers. So you've got Josh Alexander as another example.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely going to go with Bale on that one, and you're going to go with Hernandez, yeah?
Yeah, it's just to split opinion.
Split opinion, guys. It's split opinion on this one. Don't forget, we want to know your thoughts on all of this as well. Bottom line is, these are just our opinions. Come on, guys. Right, so we then got advertised the Defeat Rohit Challenge. Now, this past week on Impact, we saw a really cool promo from Rohit against TJP. And this is what I was saying, that I think this is where we're going to get, finally, an alter ego of TJP. Because they've made it very clear in previous weeks, in previous promos. Scott D'Amore made it very clear that anyone named
Yeah.
TJ or a P cannot challenge for the title. Anyone named TJP cannot challenge for the title. Okay. He didn't say TJP couldn't. He just said anyone named TJP.
Yeah.
So
Brian Myers did something last week as well. Yeah. He was insulting Crazy Steve because he lost to Rohit, like calling everyone clowns, and TJP was also schlepping makeup on.
Yeah, exactly. So they've alerted to something. They've alerted to something. There's going to be some kind of change of character coming in, and I think this is where it's going to happen. This is where we're going to get the payoff. Shall we say?
I think that one of the best things is it's not going to be Suicide, because everyone knows who Suicide is, and even though Crazy Steve was revealed to be it a couple of weeks ago, but that was to throw Rohit off and to give Crazy Steve a title shot.
Yeah, without doubt.
But they're not going to pull the same rabbit out the hat, I don't think, and give us Suicide again.
No. And a lot of people have been going on about Manic, because Manic obviously is a TNA character.
Yeah.
Portrayed by TJP. I know that he's also portrayed several other characters in AAA and other Mexican Crash, other different Mexican promotions. And I saw something the other day on social media where he posted a picture of like all the different masks that he's worn over the years. Now, again, I think that's hinting and alluring to the fact that maybe we're going to see a reincarnation of a previous character. Or is he gonna generate a new one? I don't know. But whatever happens, it's gonna be TJP versus Rohit Baju in whatever alter ego that is. But that's what I think we're gonna get. Who do you think is gonna come away the winner, though?
I think Rohit's gonna win.
Okay.
Yeah, I think during the match he's gonna unmask whoever it is, like he did with Crazy Steve.
Yeah,
but this time he's going to pick up the win from it happening. I don't see the match being thrown out because it's TJP. I see Rohit pulling it off. TJP not trying to cover his face, or just get taking it back that it's happened, and then Rohit hit him with a finisher and finish it that way.
That's interesting. I'm going to go with TJP's alter ego. I think they're going to go into the new year with a brand spanking new X Division champion.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be a good match.
So interesting how this is all panning out, Joe. We definitely got some differences of opinion here. So we're agreeing that Havoc and Nevaeh are going to win that knockouts match, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're going for Hernandez. I'm going for Ba in that match.
Yeah.
You're going for Rohit, and I'm going to go for the alter ego TJP if that is who it turns out to be. Either way, I think we're going to go into the new year with a new champion, and Rohit's going to be chasing that championship at Hard to Kill. So we're still going to see Rohit chasing that title at
definitely.
Hard to Kill. He's not out of the picture completely, but I just have a feeling to create a bit of excitement again leading into the new year. I think someone's taking that title off him on Saturday night. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. Leave your comments, guys. What's your thoughts? Now, leading on to the next match on the card, we've got Eric Young, fresh off a win over Cody Deonna this past week, facing Rhino. Now, we know that EY and his cohort, Joe Doring, laid the beat down on Rhino a couple of weeks ago on Impact, and we haven't seen Rhino since. We also know that he disappeared off into Joe, and EY disappeared off into the room. We don't know what happened with Heath. Did they give him a beating, or did they make him a proposition?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure on this one. But what we did see this past week was Eric basically giving Cody Deonna a lesson in wrestling, win the match, but they had to go in there and give him a beatdown. Obviously, Jake gets in to try and help out, but it was down. It was then Rhino making a surprise appearance, making his presence felt, clearing the ring with a steel pipe made of rubber, and coming out there just to basically, I guess, create this match that we're now going to see at Final Resolution, which is EY and Rhino. Now, I'm saying this is a tough one, right? Because
This is very tough.
I've got a couple of things in my head on how the story can go from here. But if you want the story to continue and be strong, I guess EY's got to win. So I'm going to go with an EY win for me. Okay. Is there going to be some kind of interference? Because this is where I think we're going to find out what happened in that room with Heath.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a feeling that EY's going to win, but with assistance from Heath.
Yeah. Or something's going to happen after the match.
Something along that kind of line. So that's what I'm going to go with. What about your thoughts?
Yeah. I can pretty much guarantee Eric Young's going to win the match.
Okay.
And I think that during the match or after the match, Heath is going to come out and either help Rhino or go against him but Eric Young keeps on alluding to it belongs to us, and us can't just be him and Joe Doran. I've said it before, it can't just be him and Joe Doran. I'm also thinking that maybe Cody Deonna might join them as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been taught a lesson. He's probably thinking, shit, if I can't beat him, I might as well join him.
Yeah.
There is that kind of thinking that might happen.
If you checked out his Twitter feed after the match, there's a picture of him looking at Eric Young's hockey mask.
Yeah.
And there's just dot. So he's thinking something's on his mind.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't know if is it just to hype up to build up to the match he was going to have, which I really wanted him to win. I really did want him to win because I'm such a huge fan of Cody Deonna. When a rivalry is with someone you can relate to or someone you look up to and they get their ass kicked, it really does piss you off a bit. Really.
Yeah, let's face the facts. I mean, Cody did get some good offense in, actually. I mean, he did prove that he is, he is definitely, he's a very good wrestler, and he's a good character wrestler as well. He's got a great character. But do we want to see a heel Cody?
Yeah, everyone wants Cousin Jake to go solo.
Yeah, could this be it? Could this be now where it's not Jake leaving Cody, it's Cody leaving Jake? Because everyone's been saying Jake needs to break away. Jake needs to break away. So the assumption would be that it was Jake that was going to, be the one to leave the group. But actually, is it going to be Cody Deonna leaving the group to join the new Us faction that seems to be building? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this story develops. Leading into 2021 and beyond, because clearly this has got a lot of legs in it. It's going to be, I think it'll be a big story for the early part of 2021 moving forward. But I could definitely see Rhino losing, and I think it's going to have something to do with Heath. But we're just going to have to wait and see. We're both going to go with an EY win.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Now moving on to which is sort of kind of the match, which I guess is going to be the final match with regards to this whole Wrestle House, who shot Johnny Bravo, a culmination on Larry D being the guy that did it, whether he's going to go to prison and all that kind of stuff. Right. So we this past week on Impact, we saw the promo between Tommy and Larry, and Larry even kind of said, so what you're saying is that I can attempt to murder someone, but just have a wrestling match. If I win, I get away with it. Is that what you're saying here? And Tommy's like, yes, I can do this. So I think they're alluring to the whole kind of. They're obviously alluring to the whole comedy aspect of sort of kind of this storyline. It's not a serious storyline. There's I've seen people saying, oh, it's bloody ridiculous. How can he not be in prison right now? And I like the way that they've been alluring to also in the commentary scene, because I think Josh and Madison last night were also discussing that, saying, it doesn't make sense. How is he still here? Why is he not in prison? It doesn't make sense. Which I thought was, it's clever of them. I think they're working it just right.
Yeah, they're pushing the story forward, and it regardless of how silly it is, it was a really funny, really well put together storyline to interlink everyone that was in Wrestle House and carry it forward. And now this is where they finish it off. So it's a good way to finish it off. And Tommy Dreamer, who was he was like in the back seat at Wrestle House, just getting everyone into the ring, getting all the matches set up, and you see him where he's been carrying it forward.
He's been doing a very good job on this, a very, very good job on this. But we've got Larry D versus Tommy Dreamer, Tommy D. So Larry D versus Tommy D. It's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out. I'm going to go with a Larry D win.
Yeah, I'm going to say Larry D too, because
he needs to get away with it.
He's going to get away with it, and Tommy Dreamer is fantastic at putting people over.
Yeah,
you know,
it's going to be pretty hard hitting, I think, though.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very brutal. Tommy Dreamer is not going to hold back. There's going to be weapons at some point. There's going to be the referee's going to let it go. I think just let them beat the crap out of each other.
This is going to be, I think it's going to be a slobber knocker, as old JR would say. So it's that's going to be an interesting match. But we're both going for the Larry D win, and I think he needs that as well. So I think that'd be good. Now, this past week on Impact, we saw Eddie Edwards come back. We saw Alicia being the distraction for Eddie to be able to get in the ring behind Sami Callihan while he was giving his promo, to then lay a little, a little bit of a beat down on Sami. Nothing major, because as usual, Sami manages to get away like a scolded dog. And that then, after the match, we see Alicia say to Eddie Edwards, right, I've helped you with your problem. Now you need to help me with mine. And of course, then we don't know what that's alluring to until we see the final card for Final Resolution, and we see this. So we're going to see a intergender tag match between Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K versus Eddie Edwards and his fabulous wife, Alicia Edwards. What are your thoughts on this one, brother?
I'm looking forward to this. The Alicia and Tennille Dashwood build has been really, really funny, and you could tell it was going to be a short-term thing, but the way they interacted with each other was so brilliant. Alicia Edwards is constantly trying to get someone to come down to her level and think like her and be like her, and she believed that Tennille Dashwood really was a friend with her, and then everything falls apart when Sami Callihan gets involved and makes things personal, so she switches off from Tennille Dashwood and blocks her completely.
Yeah.
And it's good to see Eddie Edwards team up with Alicia again, because the last time we did that was Davey Richards and Angelina Love, and they put on one hell of a match together then.
Yeah, it was actually. That was a good match. I remember that.
It was they had a street fight together. They had all sorts of. There were at least 2 or 3 matches against each other, and they really, really beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Alicia moving forward? Because my thoughts with Alicia are a little bit, I don't know, they're a bit on and off. Last week, I thought I didn't like her at all last week. I thought her contribution to the show was poor last week. In terms of the way, her promoing skill, her acting skills during her sections, I didn't enjoy very much at all. I thought they were a bit disjointed. She didn't deliver very well. Whereas tonight, I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I thought her contribution, I thought her skills, I thought the way she interacted with Sami was good. I then thought the way she interacted with Eddie was strong, and also the way she interacted with Tennille and Caleb with a K was good. So, I'm a bit hot and cold. What are your thoughts?
She's always seems to have an on and off week. We saw it way back with Sami Callihan and Moose as well, and Ace Austin. It's been one week where she's been really, really good at pushing everything forward, and other weeks where it's been a bit underwhelming. But I want to see more of Alicia Edwards in the ring, because it's one thing that's really been lacking. She's been with the roster for a long time, and she's just not had the spotlight.
Yeah.
Pun intended with Dashwood.
Because it is all about her, obviously. Now, I'm actually, do you know what? I'm actually most looking forward to seeing Caleb Conley back in the ring properly, as Caleb, and because I think he is an incredible talent. I was so pleased to see Caleb back. I love the way they've sort of like, I love the pairing of him and Tennille. I think the dynamic is really good. I do think Tennille is just being Tennille. It's the same character as she had before. But this time you've added in Caleb, and Caleb is a difference maker to that character.
Yeah, you've got someone to actually put the character over.
Yeah, bounce off.
We weren't getting it when she went up against Taya Valkyrie. It just did. People didn't really care about the history that she had with Taya Valkyrie.
I think nobody got it. Nobody got it, and her in-ring was very weak.
Yeah.
So they weren't getting the character. Her in-ring was weak, so they just didn't get it. And again, I mean, even when she went in, because did she go in with, who else did she go against?
She went against Kira Hogan as well. And Kira Hogan carried the entire match.
And she actually, I think, was that the match that sort of kind of was a little bit better? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember which was the better of the two matches that we saw that were in Mexico that were weak. I mean, they were both weak. So they were both being carried. But, I mean, that showed how good Kira was and how good Taya was, because they carried those matches, quite, really well. But know that recent showings, Tennille is starting to look stronger in the ring now. She's starting to look better. She's getting smoother, which is good. So, maybe it's just a bit of ring rust when she first came back to the company. But what we've started to see now also is that building character. So the character is starting to build now. We're starting to care about the character a bit more. We're starting to understand the character a bit more. But the difference has been Caleb. And I'm so happy that we're now going to get to see Caleb back in the ring doing what he does best. I mean, he's a great wrestler. So I'm very interested to see how this one all pans out. We know that it's going to be a true intergender tag match, because that Impact wouldn't do it any other way. There's going to be none of this, Eddie and Caleb and then Tennille versus Alicia. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a proper, tag team match. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm going to go with an Edwards family win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, definitely Edwards and Alicia to win this one.
Yeah, me too. Alicia deserves some justice after everything that's happened to her. She's had Eddie Edwards beaten up by Sami Callihan. She's had a tag team with Jordan Grace fall apart. A tag team with Tennille Dashwood fall apart. You feel sorry for Alicia Edwards.
Yeah.
You feel so sorry for her, because she's always being put down, and it's just so. And then when she wins, it's always a really, really good feel-good moment when something good happens to her.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I really love about Alicia Edwards in the ring. You feel so sorry for her when things go wrong, and when something good happens, you're brimming with excitement, and you want to go out there and you want to jump in the ring and clap along with her and be really happy.
Yeah, I think she's a great little character. She's a little firecracker. She's got her lishisms, where she says things not quite right. But bottom line is, I think it's going to be a good match. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be really, really good. And of course, it's got one of my favorite wrestlers in it, Eddie Edwards. So bottom line is, it's going to be good. So we then move on to the Knockouts title match, which was again made this past week on Impact, where obviously Deonna lose their to Taya and Rosemary. Rosemary picks up the pin, is the one that picked up the pin on Kimberly, I believe.
She pinned Kimberly.
Yes.
Deonna Purrazzo was knocked out the ring.
That's right. So we then get Deonna and Kimberly going backstage having a conversation with Scott D'Amore, which then ends up with him making a Knockouts title match against the Demon Mother, Rosemary, at Final Resolution. So you're rubbing your hands together. I'm rubbing my hands. I think this is going to be a really, really good match. I think it's well deserved for Rosemary. She's been so loyal to the company. She's done, some amazing work, even if she hasn't been in the ring. She's done so much stuff over the last sort of 12, 18 months. While she, was obviously trying to come back from that injury. Yes, we've seen a couple of matches, but, nothing's been as impressive as she's looked over the last, I would say, 2 months.
Yeah, since Slammiversary, Rosemary's been right back up to her A game.
She's looked amazing in the ring. She's looked aggressive. She's looked fast. She's been hard hitting, hitting the power moves. So I think this is going to be a hell of a match. Actually, I think it's an amazing match. And one thing you are going to get is the best female entrance in Impact Wrestling, in the whole of wrestling, in my opinion. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go with, my friend? I'm sorry to say I'm going to go with Deonna.
Yeah, I'm reluctantly going to have to say Deonna Purrazzo as well. Mostly alluding back to what we were talking about originally. If Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly were to go forward in the tag title contest, and with Deonna Purrazzo as Knockouts champion, it's not going to go anywhere for the other side.
No.
So obviously she's going to pick up the win against Rosemary. But I think then we might be seeing Su Yung come out and do something afterwards. Because
would be interesting.
There's still a price to pay for James Mitchell taking care of Su Yung.
I've got this. I don't know what it is. I've got this feeling that we're going to get. That what we're going to get is a badass Susie.
Yeah.
So in other words, a Susie who is all cute and lovely until she hits the ring, and then she turns that switch on.
Yeah. She's gonna do what happened to Ali before she left, basically.
Yeah, possibly. Yes, possibly. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this all pans out. Really, I think it'd be really cool if we saw that though. But yeah, I think Deonna Purrazzo is going to win this one. I think it's going to be a great match. I mean, we all know Deonna Purrazzo is amazing. She's a great technical wrestler, and we all know that Rosemary is also an extremely strong. I mean, she is a former Knockouts champion in her own right. So there is no reason why this, is not going to be one hell of a match. I know that Deonna wasn't too impressed. It's like, oh my God, like one demon to another demon. What's going on? You know what I mean? So that I thought was quite amusing as well. Kimberly was sort of kind of like, oh for God's sake, so I think this is going to be a hell of a match. I'm really looking forward to this. But I'm definitely going to go with Deonna Purrazzo win, and you're going to do the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next card on the match. I'm conscious of time. We've already gone over the hour mark. All this Kenny Omega talk, mate. Don't forget to leave your comments below, guys. Who's going to win that Knockouts title match? We'd love to know. So the next match advertised is Carl Anderson versus Ethan Page. Now, this past week on Impact, what we saw was Josh Alexander versus Chris Sabin from the Motor City Machine Guns. We saw Josh lose to him because I guess he was feeling because of the interference that Ethan was trying to give in his match.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think Carl Anderson's going to win this match.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be because Josh gets involved in trying to give Ethan advice.
Yeah, I think Josh Alexander is just going to walk out and leave Ethan Page to it.
Do you think?
He's going to be at ringside trying to support him. Ethan Page is going to say, I've got this. And then Josh Alexander just walks off and leaves him. And then that really does push on the devolution of the North. But I do see Carl Anderson most likely picking up the win. Or Doc Gallows comes back and takes out the North.
Okay, yeah. There's another thought, because we haven't seen Doc, have we? Now for a good
2 weeks,
4 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one pans out. The only thing was that I'm pretty sure they alluded that Doc wasn't actually going to be there for 6 weeks.
Yeah, they said 6 weeks, but Rich Swann wasn't meant to come back till September, and he came back.
That's true. Okay, so we're both going to go for an Anderson win.
Yeah.
Okay, but we do think that this is going to be an incredible match, right?
And it's going to be fantastic.
There's going to be some shenanigans, right?
Definitely.
Is that a good word? There's going to be some shenanigans in this one involving Josh Alexander. Now, something else. Carl Anderson alluded to him having lots of friends in the business. So if Paige comes out with Josh Alexander, is Carl Anderson going to come out with someone and it be sort of kind of like a, like, oh my God, a bit like Kenny Omega's in the building.
Yeah.
Is he going to come out with Kenny?
Yeah, that crossed my mind. Kenny Omega, the Bullet Club reunion, sort of coming back together on Impact Wrestling. That would be really good.
Or is he going to come out with the Young Bucks in his corner? Or is he going to come out with maybe Rocky Romero from New Japan?
Yeah.
Which again, people would be like, "Oh my God, there must be a New Japan Pro Wrestling, taking place now." Do you know what I mean? Like, is that going to happen? I mean, Rocky has already appeared on Access TV, hasn't he, for the Full Keg, which is obviously an Anthem company and promoted by Impact Wrestling. So he's already appeared, in an Impact product, TV product. Could he appear again in the Impact Zone?
Of course, the other thing we could see is Carl Anderson could come out with Swoggle as well, to remind Ethan Page that this is the guy you lost to, and really wind him up.
Rub it in his face, kind of thing.
Yeah, salt in the wounds. So it's going to be interesting to see what Carl Anderson does, because it's going to put him over a lot more as well.
Oh, without doubt. Okay, so we're both going to go with Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
Because I think also this is an opportunity for them to push Carl as a singles competitor as well. Because I know after, just check out my interview, Bison Talks Impact with the Good Brothers. But via the TNI network. Still shameless plug there. Where he actually alluded in that interview that both of them have got aspirations to not only be a tag team and win the tag team titles, which they clearly are, the tag team champions now, but they also want to have singles careers as well. They got aspirations of winning world titles, so this could be the way of starting to sort of kind of promote Carl as that kind of singles wrestler, not just a tag team wrestler. So this could be interesting, but of course, it could be the other way, because if Ethan has signed his contract, right? I know that part of that's going to be for him. He's going to want to push for a world title run. He wants to be a world champion. He wants to be a singles wrestler. As well as he wants to be known as an all-round great wrestler, whether it be singles or tag. He just wants to be, everything. So, interestingly enough, will Ethan Page go over in this match?
I think it'd be really unexpected.
It would be unexpected, but I think if he does, it could be an indication on whether he signed his contract or not.
Yeah, I hope he has re-signed with the company, win or lose. It's going to be a huge loss if Ethan Page goes, and I'm. Ethan Page and Josh Alexander could really fight it out for a good couple of months as well, and really push each other. Because Josh Alexander needs more merit because he's so underrated. Yeah. Not saying he can't deliver, because he can deliver.
He's amazing.
Anyone can catch any of the matches he's done in Canada or any of the matches he's done anywhere else. You see some of the stuff he can do: grappling, submission, aerial moves. He's absolutely fantastic. He's almost like Brian Cage. He can pretty much do anything.
I mean, for me, he's like a reincarnated Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Kurt can do moonsaults off the top rope. He could do suplexes all over suplex everybody from anywhere. He's got speed, agility, and basically every single attribute that Josh Alexander has. Kurt Angle had in his heyday. So definitely, I very much compare Josh Alexander is a modern version of Kurt Angle, and I really hope that in 10 years' time, we're sat here saying that some up-and-coming dude is the next reincarnation of Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
The next Iron Man. Same way.
There's no extra walking weapon, but we might see the next Iron Man.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. So it's gonna. I'm really, really excited about the Anderson Page match, because I think there's some interesting stuff on that one, and it's also billed, from if you look at the card, the way that they've laid it out on the IMPACTWRESTLING.com website, it's billed as the second to final match, ahead of the Knockouts title match. So they're alluding that this is a top of the card. This is a big match. All right. So interesting that one is gonna be. I'm gonna go with the Anderson win. You're gonna go with the Anderson win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't bother me either way. I would be surprised if it was Paige, but I would be happy too. So leave us your thoughts, guys. Put something in the comments down below. Let us know your thoughts. We love interacting, as I keep saying. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, by the way. That would be good too. Thumbs up. Oh, and drop a sub. Yes, and smash the bell. Smash the bell. I like mentioning this every now and again because it's very important. Joe, you're freaking me out, son. You're freaking me out. So moving on to the main event. The main event, obviously the Impact World Title match is Rich Swann versus All Bay, Chris Bay. It's going to be interesting to see again where this one leads to. I mean, for me, it's all day long a win for Rich Swann, because I just think that it's a little bit too early to be losing it, especially to Chris. Do I think it's going to be an amazing showcase match? Yes. It's very much going to be a main event not to be missed. I think it's going to be a great match, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think this past week we had a slight preview in that tag match between Chris Bay, Moose, Rich Swann, and Willie Mack. They gave us a little bit of a hint of what to expect for this match. Some obviously high flying, fast, athletic showcase of wrestling for this match. I think it's going to be an amazing match. I can't wait for it. I'm hoping that they give them a good 20 minutes on it. But I'm definitely going to go for a Rich Swann win. Thoughts?
I'm going to go for Rich Swann too. Chris Bay's coming in with a lot of momentum because he won that. I think he won last night as well.
Well, him and Moose won last night. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Chris Bay picked up the victory. So he's got a lot of momentum going in, so he's got a lot to lose. But I do think it's a bit too early to have the title change hands again. It's changed hands about 4 times since Slammiversary, 3 or 4 times. So I think Rich Swann carry it to Hard to Kill and then face Moose and Chris Bay there, and maybe Willie Mack as well in a big 4-way match at Hard to Kill. It'd be a much better way to have the title change hands there than to have it change again before the end of the year.
I agree totally. One interesting note: there is a big name missing off this sheet. And who do you think it is? Have you noticed?
It's Moose or Sami Callihan.
Oh, both of them. Both of them are not on this. Are not at this pay-per-view. There's no Moose and there's no Sami Callihan on this still incredibly strong card.
Yeah, but Sami doesn't have a reason to be there apart from to attack Eddie Edwards.
No. So
that's where Sami's going to come in, and Moose is probably going to do something after Chris Bay, especially if Chris Bay wins. He's going to come out and send a message to Chris Bay. But regardless, Moose is going to probably be there then, and then we'll probably get Willie Mack coming in too.
Yep, this is exactly what I'm alluding to. There's the 2 massive names that have not got a match, so it must mean that somewhere in this card they're going to turn up and there's going to be shenanigans. Like you said, I think it's going to be, you're right, I think it is going to be in that tag match, and maybe we might be wrong, and it may be that Sami comes in and causes them to lose, and Neil and Caleb win. So there's all sorts of shenanigans that could happen. Like I said, we've also got the title match where, is Moose going to get involved in this? Are we going to see Willie Mack? Neither of those guys have got a match on the card. So is this where they're going to get involved? All I know is that these Impact Plus specials are turning into must-watch shows. And they are pay-per-view quality. I mean, you're going to have a 3-hour show, which is Impact Plus, so there's no adverts or anything like that. It's a full 3-hour show, and you've got like 9 or 10 matches on that card, all pay-per-view quality matches.
Yeah,
like
it's fantastic.
Like when you think about it, the $7.99 or whatever it is a month for your Impact Plus app, there it is. It's on that card. It's on this card. It's paid. That's what you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
Like, and not only do you get this type of card every single month, but you get Impact every single week on there, don't you?
Yeah.
For free. That's on the free version. Well, it is in the UK. I'm not sure in the States, but in the UK, it's on the free version, right? 3 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, which is basically, I think it's like an hour after it airs in the US, right? It's available for you to view on Impact Plus for free. Okay, so there you go. Now, you don't get obviously the exclusive stuff, like you don't get the specials unless you sign up, unless you subscribe to the Impact Plus app. But it's all on there. It's all on there. It's amazing. I mean, you've got like thousands and thousands of hours of back catalogue. You can watch TNA from like the very, very start if you wanted to. But I know that the TNI boys do that. They do the Throwback Thursday, guys, where they are literally going back over, from the start. I think they're on episode 50 now. Actually, by the time this goes out, it'll be episode 51, right? Of the TNI original sort of TV pay-per-view specials that they did every single week when they first started the promotion. Some incredible names have performed under the TNA sort of Impact banner. So some incredible stuff on there. If you're a WWE fan and you've come across us for the first time, if you want to see AJ Styles at his best, if you want to see Samoa Joe at his best, if you want to see Kurt Angle at their best, if you want to see Sting at his best, then you need to check out the Impact Plus app because it's all on there. These guys, performed at their highest level while they were with the TNA brand.
Christian
was another one. Christian Cage, as he was known on TNA. Funny enough, I often allude to the first time that I saw ODB because I've become a big fan of ODB. I did actually interview her a couple of weeks ago. So go and check that out on the TNI channel. But the first time I saw her was at Universal Studios back there in Orlando when it was TNA. On that same card, I saw Christian Cage, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kevin Nash. Okay, we're talking pure legends of the wrestling industry have been on the TNA product. So if you've not seen any of this stuff, you need to get yourself, onto the Impact Plus. Check out all of the great content that's on there. It's amazing. We've also got specials on there. You got Impact in 60 is on there. You got Explosion on there. Which comes out, I think, every Saturday morning-ish or Saturday or Sunday. That appears on there as well. And again, we get to see some great young talents. Most recently, we saw Ben Carter on there. So I know if you're an AEW fan, you would have seen Ben Carter recently. So, there's some amazing talents on there. If you're a UK fan, Ben Carter, he's an amazing English wrestler. Explosion. He was on Explosion a couple of weeks back. So, there's some amazing cons. There's also specials on there. I've heard a rumor that Sammy and Friends is coming back, so that's going to be a bit of fun. That's a nice little 20-minute exclusive that you get on Impact Plus. There's lots of stuff on there, guys, that you get. But like I said, for me, the exclusive card, the exclusive specials every single month is worth the subscription alone. And when you look at this card that we've just been talking about tonight. Right, that's pay-per-view right there, right?
Definitely.
That is pay-per-view quality show, quality card right there. So I think that's about it for today, mate. So we're both going to go with Rich Swann for the win over Chris Bay. I think it's going to be a phenomenal match. Nothing to take away from Chris Bay, but I think leading to 2021, Rich Swann needs to continue to be the champion. And of course, that could lead to an incredible match, possibly with Moose or someone like that, hard to kill. I'm certainly looking forward to that. I think that is January 16th.
January
16th?
January 14th.
14th, Saturday, January the 14th. So it's only a couple of weeks in, guys. So we're not that far away, really. We've got next week, next Tuesday, we've got a show. I'm not sure whether that's going to be a recorded show or a best of, or the following week's going to be, the annual review of Impact Wrestling. So we'll get to see some of the great matches that have happened over this past year. That's going to be amazing. And of course, we head into the new year, all guns blazing. AEW, Impact, Kenny Omega turning up. RB, yeah, exactly. Do it. Do the thing. Do the thing. Yeah. So what are we going to see? What are we going to see coming to Impact Wrestling in 2021? It's exciting times, guys. All that's left to say is, where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOK empty space, all one word. Yep. Find me on Facebook at Joe O'Keefe. Look for the hashtag empty space, the void. Quite a lot of my posts are coming up with public posts now, so you'll see. Probably a bit easier to track me down, although be prepared for some pretty insane and pretty different takes on reality.
There's definitely some different takes on reality. I think reality is definitely something that is lost in your empty space somewhere along the lines, my friend.
I see you more than Sammy.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Interesting stuff. And I have to say, Joe has some very interesting interactions with some of the stars of the Impact roster as well. So definitely worth a follow on the socials. If you're interested in following me, the Bison, you can find me at Lord Bison 45 on Twitter, Jason Hawk on Facebook. However, most of my wrestling stuff I do via Twitter. I try and sort of kind of exclusively keep it to one of my socials, as I'm very active on lots of other things in my life, which I like to keep to the other social medias aspect as well. But please follow me on Twitter. Please don't forget to follow also the Total Nonstop Impact channel on Twitter at We Talk Impact. And like I said, we are well on our way to hitting 1,000 subs on our YouTube channel by the end of the year. Help us do that, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment, because we like to talk to all of you. And remember, this is just our opinion and we're interested in yours. And make sure that you sub, whether it be YouTube, preferably, so we can get those 1,000 subs would be great.
Yeah,
but
1K by Christmas, guys.
Yeah,
1K by Christmas.
We're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. The list goes on. Wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, go and sub the Total Nonstop Impact channel. But help us reach 1,000 subs on YouTube by Christmas. What a Christmas present that would be from you guys. Give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, give us a sub, smash the bell to never miss any of our exclusive content, which comes out each and every single week via TNI US, TNI UK. It's loads of it. There's just loads of content that we love you guys to listen to, and we love your thoughts and feedback on all of it. Like I said, please let everybody know that we're here. Give us a sub. I keep saying it. Give us a sub. Give us a like. Leave us a comment. But that's about it from us today, my friend. I've really enjoyed talking about the Kenny Omega stuff. I've really enjoyed talking about Final Resolution. It's going to be a not miss show, the final Impact Plus special of 2020. Make sure that you tune in. Get yourself the Impact Plus app. Make sure that you watch the show. It's going to be phenomenal. But it's a goodbye from me, the Bison, and it's a goodbye from him, the
Joker.
Mate, that was perfect. That was perfect. I can't believe it. That's the first time. That was absolutely perfect. Good man. Good man. And this has been episode 12 of Impacted.